for this one, we got a recap right now for UFC 316. We're going to go over all the cards. We're probably going to react to the press conference as well. So I got a video coming out, full card breakdown, but I'm still going to do a full card breakdown in this one. That one is more of a condensed 10 minutes of the breakdown. This one is going to be a little bit of a longer form. So bear with me on this one. Okay. So real quick, let me just make sure that I have what do you call it? That I have a thumbnail for this one. I gotta put up a thumbnail for this one real quick. So yeah, we're gonna have a recap on this one. And for whatever reason, if this doesn't pull through positively, I'm probably just going to what do you call it? I'm gonna probably just put this on members only, but probably not. This will probably be a good one. So everybody tap in. Don't forget to like and subscribe because we got an epic breakdown show for you on this one, right? You know, just straight grinding, right? I did a 10-hour stream, took this one down only to make another stream. Once again, Marty Miller, Dana just said something about an Umar rematch for Marab. What? Man, bro, they're making him go through the gauntlet. Now, look, I like that because obviously I'm an Omar guy, but do you think Omar deserves this in all honesty? And this is a Muslim fight fan telling you this. You know what I mean? And somebody who's diehard into Khabib and his team and all of that, right? Like, do you think that he deserves that rematch? I personally don't think so. But then if you really think about it, who else is there? Just like who else is there in the heavyweight division? Suppose if Tom Aspinall and John fight tomorrow and then it happens and then it's finished, then what? What's next? Who's next? You know what I'm saying? Not without another win, in my opinion. I agree. That's what I'm saying, right? He needs to have another win. But Sanhagen was there, so why not Sanhagen as the next possible matchup, right? When you said Dana White said that, I'm assuming that the press conference is already happening. Speaking of which, here's Corey Sanhagen. Let's hear this real quick. Okay, so he anticipated that Marab was going to look good in this fight, he said. Yeah, man. How about that choke from Sean O'Malley, right? The choke that he had on Sean O'Malley. Now, obviously, that's not the finishing choke that you see on the thumbnail that I have out right now, but all right. Let's go to the press conference while we listen to Corey Sanhagen right now. All right, shout out to everyone around the world that's tapped in right now. Told you guys I was gonna come back and do another one. Stay grinding and stay working, right? You know, just making content after content. Obviously, doing content different from the content that I had just made. And I got a video coming out right now, by the way, regarding Francis Ngannou's return that is going to be uploaded right now. So let's see. Okay, Dana White is talking right now. Is Dana White crying? Yeah, what's up with Dana White, man? He looks in bad shape. Oh wait, so Dana White is addressing the thing about Turkey. Oh wow. Okay. So Dana White said that he is promoting the fight between Crawford and Canelo. He said that yeah, boxing guys know how to keep their mouth shut in ways that MMA people don't. Okay, so that video has been uploaded. Hold on, let me see if I can. This is slow. All right, let's do that. Let's Okay, so let me give you guys a little bit of some recap of what Dana White has been saying, right? Dana White said that he will be promoting the Canelo versus Crawford fight, and that the reason why there's a lot of all this chit chatting talking about, well, whether that's going to happen, whether that's not going to happen, the reason why they're not talking about those things is because people in boxing know how to keep their mouth shut, but ultimately Dana White is saying he is promoting the fight, and there's no way about there's no two ways about it. So all this other stuff that all these other boxing people are talking about, oh, Dana White is no longer promoting or this and that. Listen, a lot of boxing people always say you don't know shit about boxing. Well, guess what? You don't know shit about anything because Dana White is obviously the one that's going to promote the fight. Anyways, guys, like and subscribe. We're going to go break down the whole entire card for UFC 316 and what is next for Marab. So, what is next for Marab? Right? Is it going to be Corey Sanhagen? That is a possibility. That is somebody that is in the mix. Corey Sanhagen just got a win off a former champion in Davison Figueroa. Uh, Corey Sanhagen was there tonight, but that doesn't really say much, nor does it really explain if we're going to have if we're going to have that fight. They're talking about possibly doing Omar once again. Now that would be wild, right there, right? You're talking about having Omar get up there. That's crazy to me, man. You know what I mean? That is crazy. But on any regard, let's see what else is going on right here. Let's hear what Dana White has to say right here. Oh yeah, so now they're talking about the collapse of the fans that were in the stands while Marab was walking out. So that was a thing that they were talking about. You know, that was a thing that was happening that they were, very much concerned with. So wow. Okay, so now Dana. Wow. So Dana just revealed, you know what? We can't make John Jones fight. Hold on a second. Let me show you this video right here. All right, there it is. There's Marab and Kayla Harrison celebrating together. All right, so wait, let's hear out what Dana White has to say here. City Project says, hope as well, brother. Highly suggests Black Combat as an upcoming high level promotion. Okay, I will check that out. It's a Korean base, but they employ real MMA rules. When you mean real MMA rules, City Projects, by the way, everybody, shout out to City Projects, one of the biggest MMA channels of all YouTube. Yo, listen, this dude literally covers every fight, every single fight that exists, right? There's a fight going on in Asia, if there's a fight going on in Russia, if there's a fight going on in Thailand, my man is on it. He is a real fight fanatic, and I love it. I love it. That's why I love City Life Projects, and I love the fact that he, shouts me out and and gives me some, some love out there, gives me some promotion, just like what I do for him, man. City Life Project, man. Inshallah, one day we'll meet and hang out and have a cup of coffee together up in Canada. So City Life Project says soccer kicks, stomps, knees to the ground in opponents. A superior rule set. Okay, so basically, Japanese rule style set. Okay. City Project says, haha, hardly a big YouTuber, just a fight fanatic, my friend. Man, you're a little too humble for your sake, but yeah, man, you definitely are a fight fanatic. And hey, you know what? You're getting the rightful recognition for it, right? You know what I mean? You're putting out content covering fights that most people will not do, right? I mean, and you, man, you do pretty good at it. So yeah, it's a pride rules for real. That's good. Cheers, brother, for show, man, for show. Appreciate it, man. Likewise, man. Likewise, you're always here, showing me love. So, Marty Miller says, just a heads up, there's a dirty boxing card free on YouTube next Saturday. Okay, we'll definitely check that out. I'm assuming that's from John Jones's organization. John Jones and Mike Jones own that league. Dominic Bonarigo says Pride rules. Yep. City Project says even better than Pride rules because they allow elbows, allow cuts to not end of fights. Wow. Okay. Pride was weird about blood and no grounded elbows. Yeah. Okay. So that is different. Okay. So obviously they wanted to do something a little bit different than the Japanese. You know how the Koreans are. They have a little bit of that unspoken rivalry between Koreans and the Japanese. But for those of you that understand Asian culture, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Marty Miller says, yeah, it's the Mike Perry and John Jones. Speaking of John Jones, Dana White just said here flat out, he said, look, you can't make people fight, man. He flat out just said that. You can't make people fight. By the way, check out a new video that I'm going to have dropping midnight right after I get done with this live stream. It's going to consist of Francis Ngannou possibly coming back to the UFC. Now, what do you guys think about that? What do you think about the UFC bringing back Francis Ngannou? City like Project says Ryzen Black Combat have the best rule set in MMA right now. Okay. City Project says keep up the great work, my friend. Gonna take a nap before the boxing card starts in a couple of hours. Oh snap! Okay, okay, my man is hard at work. He's about to take a nap for an upcoming boxing fight. Like back in the days, I remember I used to take naps just to wake up for a card that I'm not even covering. Right, this is before I got in YouTube. Like I would watch like a UFC. Well, okay, one fight I remember, 2017. Kelvin Gastelum, right, who fought tonight, beat Michael Bisping in China. He was supposed to fight Anderson Silva in that card. I stayed up to watch that. City Projects, shout outs to you with the super chat. Would love to have coffee soon, inshallah, brother. If you're ever in California or if I'm ever in Vancouver, I think you're in Vancouver, right? You're in the Vancouver area, man. I'll hit you up. I'll find your email in some kind of way, and we'll connect for sure. Marty Miller says Francis versus John or Aspinall are huge fights for sure they are. But I'm becoming less skeptical now. Hell yeah, brother. I'm becoming less skeptical now of Dana White making this fight with John Jones. He's saying, well, you know what? You can't make people fight. You know that talk, man. When Dana White says you can't make people fight, oh, man. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't give you, a high sense of optimism, does it? It's not really, yeah. Yeah. Oh wait, let's hear this real quick. Let's hear this real quick.
screaming freedom is like the old bomb pops. And then I've never been like a
Okay, so Dana White is basically just promoting a drink right now.
that's pretty good.
So yeah, man, I'm not highly optimistic about Dana White possibly making this fight with John Jones. He says we can't make John Jones fight. Bro, when you hear language like that, you know that there ain't going to be any fights happening, man. You know, and but they are saying that, man, that's it's Tom Aspinall's fight to make is being an undisputed champion.
I'm gonna get back, and we got matchmaking on Tuesday, and
All right, so he says, yeah, he's going to get back and he's got matchmaking Tuesday. So
yeah,
so they're asking if there is going to be a no September
no
pay-per-view.
check. Yeah,
UFC no Che.
yeah, 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 right. We're gonna go. We don't have a date for that one yet. Yeah.
They said they don't have a date for that one.
We were gonna be down in Mexico. The arena's not ready for
They
us.
said they were going to be down in Mexico, but the arena was not ready, obviously. So they go to San Antonio, I suppose.
Oh, definitely.
He said that Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes are going to be a bigger fight than Amanda versus Cyborg back then. Yeah, that was a pretty big fight, right? You know what I mean? For what it was pretty big considering of how unstoppable Cyborg looked at that time. And then here comes Amanda Nunes making Cyborg look like a complete human being. So Raw Dog says Harrison appears freakishly strong. No, she definitely does, Raw Dog, man. Listen, I knew that once she kept taking down Juliana Pena over and over again, I knew that it was just going to be a rinse and repeat cycle from there. It was just going to continue on and on and on and on and on and on, and that was that, you know?
ESPN, and remember when they used to say the kick of the '80s? Kickboxing was the kick of the '80s or some shit like that, but never really happened. Um, and I don't know, it's just not. I have to feel it and really like it. And, you know, just not that I don't like
He says that he
kickboxing.
has to feel and really like it because they asked about kickboxing, and
I like Muay Thai too, but why would I pick kickboxing over Muay Thai? Why not do Muay Thai? Which I think is way more violent. Um,
yeah, there you go. Okay, he said that.
not into
Yeah, he said that kickboxing wise, he's not into kickboxing, but he is into Muay Thai. So, okay, here's a question about Tom.
It's definitely the process with John Jones and going through this since the day he started here. And it's definitely the process.
Okay, so what?
Him and Anderson Silva, every time, throughout the history of being in business with those guys, when it comes time to get them fight, it's like dealing with artists. Interesting.
Yeah, Dana says that when it came to Dana White, when it came to Silva,
What's that? Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it since.
okay, so he's confident that this fight will happen, but he's saying that it's like dealing with artists, him and Anderson Silva and John Jones.
Offered the deal.
That's what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah. How did that start? You said people were expecting a lackluster card.
So the fan is asking, yeah, people were expecting a lackluster card, but it didn't work out that way.
Before they happen. If you want to judge a card, judge it after it happens. And if you think fights were lackluster or the card didn't live up to expectations, it's like I've been hearing this shit for 25 years. So, but I thought the card was good. It was a fun night. At the end of
Yeah,
the day,
so he was asked, do you think that the card was lackluster? And he said that, well, I think the card was
folks,
good.
tonight, that's a good night. Try again. Cheeto Vera and who? Again, anything is possible.
Okay, so they asked if Sean O'Malley and Cheeto Vera would be a good trilogy, and then he says, well, anything can possibly happen. So
Sean agreed to fight Tom. Sean agreed to fight Tom. Yes. Right. Yeah. I mean, you guys have heard me for the last however long. I said, I guarantee you this fight's going to happen. This fight's going to happen. Fight's going to happen. You guys told me the crazy shit that was going on Instagram and all these other places. But yes, I've been saying John is going to fight Tom. Unless you hear it come from here, where we put out a press release, don't believe any of this bullshit. It's like the turkey stuff. You know what I mean? And everybody said, I know Turkey said some stuff, but unless we come out and say something, it's all bullshit.
yeah, that's a good point from Dana, right? Unless they come out and say something,
And most of
yeah,
the time,
people are just trying to get clicks and
that happens.
views
I hear from you guys when I come
most of the time.
Otherwise, I don't care and I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. But yes, John, agreed to fight. Fact. Good. Thank you guys. Good night.
Yeah, John agreed to fight Tom, nonetheless. So there it is, man. For those of you that are, hesitant on what's going on, John agreed to fight Tom. That is all you need to know. Everything else is just nothing more than just smoke and mirrors. So, okay, let's get to the recap. We sort of did a recap already, right? We don't have to really go in full detail of it. The next video that I have really goes into that, and I do it in a very condensed, short amount of while. But this time, right now, what we got is, I guess, just trying to look at what is the fight of the night tonight. Let's take a look and see. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if there was any particular what do you call it? If there was any particular bonuses that were handed out. Okay, so there were no fight night bonuses tonight. The performance of the night goes to Marab, Kayla, Kevin, and Sang. Okay, that makes sense, right? Sang had that 28-second knockout, the fastest knockout all night long. He got it in. And how about this, right? The illegal up kick by Juliana Pena. Now that referee, man, relentless, right? Not even giving a shot whatsoever. It was like, you know what? We're gonna take a point straight away. Straight away, we're gonna take a point. Now, Yanel Amouche versus Killian Scala. Now, Scala did a very good job. Killian did a very good job in both the wrestling and both the striking range. It was like as if Amouche wasn't able to do anything because he just seemed too short and didn't have enough range, didn't have enough distance, and didn't even match him on the grappling exchanges when it got close. So great job on Killian on that one. Yujo Sang, that knockout, it reminded me a lot of the Conor McGregor Jose Aldo knockout. As Jekka was marching in forward, Sang came in there and hit him with that shot and then just, laid him out right there as he was, basically countering him as he was walking in. Andres Gustafsson, I mean, he did a great job on the grappling. It was great. The grappling is ultimately what won him the fight. Waldo Cortez Acosta, man, I don't think he won that fight, man, but it was a unanimous decision. I don't know what the judges were seeing other than the volume, but nonetheless, that was that. Osmont did a great job knocking out Burnton. Obviously, 3 minutes into the first round. Okay, let's listen to what Marab has to say real quick, and then we'll break down the Osmont and the Brenson fight.
Um, I'm really happy. It was today's special day because
Marab
I was
says this is a
fighting
special day.
here close to New York,
He says because he's
New
fighting in New
Jersey.
York.
I started professional career
And so,
here.
because he said that he started his professional career
I
here,
had
so
my
he's kind
first
of
match in
glad
the United
that he
States here
fought out
against
here.
Wild like many years ago, and but
Likewise,
today I
that
was
was
fighting for the
my
belt.
home
Mr.
area
President
for a
Trump was
while as
here.
well.
Then I was Hunter Campbell and all the majority of people was here. All the immigrants and all my friends from New York, from New Jersey, the teammates, and it doesn't get any better than this. I'm so happy and grateful.
Yeah, he's saying that he was landing a lot of power shots towards him.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just getting better everywhere. I'm not only focused for one thing, and then I was just keep doing my thing in training, and yeah, like during the training camp, the game plan changed. Sometimes I'm doing like body shots good. I'm gonna punch his body shots. Sometimes
Yeah, so
do
he's saying he
strength
does
work
different
and
types of drills during.
sometimes at this camp I was not thinking to like wrestling much. I was ready for how maybe like how he was talking and making excuses. I'm like, okay, maybe this guy really wasn't his night. Maybe he's something special, and maybe he's gonna start my wrestling takedowns, and then I have to go try. And I was ready.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
thought, yeah,
I
maybe
was
this
thinking.
guy is something special.
I
Maybe he's
gave too
everything
much
that he
respect.
says
This
that
guy
he
made me
is,
feel like
and
first
he
time,
gave him
like
too
I
much
said,
respect.
this one, I was fighting first time for the belt, and I wanted to win this. And I was winning. I know I was winning, and I don't risk it too much. I want to just grab it one time. I just want to win one time, and win, and then I can now like I risk it today. Not risk, but I play more open today. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to win the first time, especially against dangerous opponent like Sean O'Malley. And okay, I will tell you. Yeah, so the game plan was to fight wherever fight will go. I was ready
He
for
said that the
everything.
game plan was to
But I
fight
had
wherever the fight was going to
one
go, and
amazing
he was
guys
ready to take it
in
anywhere.
summer camp. My friend Aljamain Sterling helped me so much, and he don't have a fight. He's getting married. He don't really like sparring much, but he was sparring with me 3 times a week,
Okay, so he was
and
sparring
he
with
was
Aljo 3 times a
two
week.
times better than Sean O'Malley. Fighting, he wasn't not trying to shoot me, take me down. You know, I don't know, like
He said that his striking was
I
better than
salute
Sean
him, and
O'Malley. Well, I
I wish
mean,
this fighter wins.
in their fight,
O'Malley is
Sean O'Malley
not
might have
really that
felt
good as
differently.
Aljo, but hey, but I'm grateful for my friend Aljamain Sterling, and
Yeah, he
I
said
try
he's
to
grateful for
keep
Aljamain
always
Sterling on that
like
one. There was a time where people were calling Marab a wussy or a shield because he or a cuck because he wouldn't get in there and fight Aljo or whatever. But lo and behold, I mean the loyalty sort of paid off, right? Because now you could argue Marab is a bigger star than Aljo, and on top of that,
for sure.
Aljo already lost the belt only for Marab to come and win it back for him. So
Fighting, and then he already he picks his mistake. When you fight same guy, of course he's not gonna make same mistakes.
that's right. See, Marab says when you fight the same guy, you're not going to make the same mistake. I agree with that. That's why I compared the Deontay Wilder versus the uh, um, Tyson Fury fight. So EM says Mannheim Cafarel. I don't understand what that means, my man. I don't understand Dutch uh, or German. Let me know what that means. Shout out to you.
Guy, hardworking guy, good, super talented, super good, and
By the way, guys, I got a new video coming out in 5 minutes from now. By the way, check it out, okay? It's called The Greatest 135er Post UFC 316 Full Card Recap, where I basically talk about why Marab is the best 135er right now, and also the UFC return of Francis Ngannou. You guys don't want to miss this one. So he said he's going on a 2 week vacation, 1 week in his country in Georgia. Okay, and then he's gonna have Nina Drama come with him. Great, yeah. How cringy is that? Okay, and he's going to Azerbaijan as well. I think the UFC is having a card up there in Azerbaijan. Okay, so he wants to go and train with Ilya Tapora to help him. Oh wow, okay, so Marab has trained with Patchy Mix before. Yeah, he said that Patchy's grappling is on a whole nother level. We didn't see much of that tonight, obviously, because it was all of Batista's night, right? Just hitting him with, shots outside just a constant volume that he was hitting him with, by the way. But yeah, that's us covering the Patchy Mix fight right now. Yeah, Patchy Mix definitely had a shot to take him down, but he didn't. And it was a striking match nonetheless. Yeah, and Marab said he'll come back from this. I agree. I agree. He'll come back from this a little stronger. All right, so now he's in the club of the 13 wins. Some of the greatest fighters have a 13 fight win streak, I suppose. So he had a controversial loss, first two fights in the UFC. He said it is hard to imagine for him that he's just some regular guy. Yeah, he said that he just has his goal to fight in the UFC, and yeah, he said that it is you guys that makes all of this go round. So yeah, very humble. Very humble of Marab. I like that. He's a very humble man. Okay, so now they're asking him about who he would like to fight next. He said he just wants to be busy. He said he wants to fight the most deserving guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the new official social media partner of UFC.
They got the Threads commercial for the UFC right now. I don't know what Threads are. What is? Francis Ngannou is coming into the UFC, but is it because he's trying to hide what he had done in Cameroon? That could be, or it could be that he has no one else to fight in the PFL. Let's be honest. None of these heavyweights,
fights in. So you might be looking at like October and then December. Does that sound like something you're up for? You mentioned New York, obviously, and lived in New York, home in New York still. You worked in construction in New York, probably not too far from here, I would imagine. Um, what would it mean for you to kind of fight in that building, that Madison Square Garden? You have the same reverence for it that a lot of people do.
yeah. So he's saying that he's always wanted to fight in New York. Francis Ngannou is coming into the UFC, but is it because he's trying to?
How was it though competing in front of New Jersey, where you started your pro career? Of course, you've had many, many fights here. They haven't all gone your way, but this one clearly very much did. Did you enjoy fighting in front of these fans here? They were not always on your side necessarily. Some of them were in Sean's corner, but you did have the last laugh.
Yeah, he said he was glad to fight here in New Jersey.
Congratulations.
Morocco over here. Congratulations on your win. You just said you're going to go back to Georgia. Last time that you went back, the receivement of the people was amazing. What does it mean for you to be now the face of this sport in your country now that you're sharing
So
this
now they're
moment
asking him, what does it mean to be the face of the sport
that
of his country?
has you as an example?
He says that this is a big moment for him. Francis Ngannou is coming into the UFC, but is it because he's trying to hide what he had done in Cameroon? He said when he was young, he wanted to be an athlete, Marab. Young, he wanted to be an athlete, Marab. Francis Ngannou is coming into the UFC. Wow, he said that it wasn't even common to have a refrigerator where he was at. He said that this is a big motivation for him to represent his country.
Marab, right over here, Marab. As we continue to watch your career unfold, there's a lot of people that are arguing for you to be at their top of the list in terms of the bantamweight GOAT. There's been a lot of
Yeah,
people
so they're talking about how he is the greatest bantamweight goat ever, right? Check out the new video that I have for this one. It's coming out in 10 minutes, by the way. Okay? In 10 minutes, this video is coming up. You guys are going to appreciate this for sure. Okay? Because, yeah, it's right up there with talking about this particular subject. It's coming out in less in 9 minutes now, actually.
so as long as the GOAT is your Aljo, you're happy. You're good. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Shout out to Tim. How you doing, man?
Mar- Marab,
He
talk to
said
us
he's going to get
boys
drunk
about.
after this.
Would you talk to us about the finish? There's a little bit of confusion. Was that a choke or a neck crank that he
They're
tapped out?
asking if that finish was a choke or a neck crank. North south choke.
So it was actually a choke and not a neck crank that got him. Yeah. Okay.
Was it a neck crank or a choke that got him? It's called a reverse ninja. He said, let's call it a machine
Last
choke.
technical question. There was a really great sit out trip you got where you got your leg underneath his and shoved his leg out underneath it. It was about maybe 3 minutes left in the round. Was that something you normally practice? We haven't seen something like that, I think, from anybody in quite some time. Getting just that particular suck out on the up when he was up against the cage. Or do you just not remember this? Like, I mean, I saw it. You're in the moment. Rob over here.
He said he
Loves to
showed that he's
coach
much
style
better than
way. He
him.
lets you be yourself. He knows how to coach you through the chaos, the good, the bad. How grateful are you to have someone like him in your corner?
He asked, how grateful are you to have someone like him in your corner?
first time I go in Vegas 2020, it was COVID time, and everything was closed and comfortable, and we was back and forth, but it's so comfortable to live in Vegas, and for fighter, I think is the best. Anyway, and I started training in
Yeah, he said
Singapore,
living
and
in
I like
Vegas is the best for
training
all of
process and everything,
fighters.
but to pick the coach, I was very picky. You know, like I'm loyal, you know, and I love my coaches very
So he
loyal.
said that
He
he's
said
very
like
loyal in
long
terms of
time
picking coaches.
I
So,
was not working with one on one like with John Wood, but like and I like his personality, I like his style, I like everything, and then now he's every time I sparring, he's like it's like he's holding joystick. He's telling me do this, do this, do this, and I'm doing it. So and it works very good, and I'm grateful for John. Thank you so much, and yeah, we're showing that we're getting better and better, and yeah. Congratulations, Marab Bakir. Just could you just back here? Could you tell us what exactly happened during your ring
uh,
walk there? Obviously,
standard
you see a little
replicant says, where does
knife and
Sean
gloves.
go from
Kind
here?
of like a little. You can tell us what
Perhaps
happened.
maybe a Cheeto Vera rematch.
Because
That's what I think. I
yeah,
think that's
once
ultimately
something
what he was
his coach
probably going to go
touched them,
for,
and
is a
okay, yeah,
rematch like
and
that.
I touched
So,
them, and I guess they pushed the barrier, and they went jump, and they almost kicked me in the head, and they almost got knocked me out before I walked in. The
oh
barrier
wow,
hit me
yeah, he
too much,
almost got knocked out before he walked in the
anyway,
cage because of people almost collapsing on him in that entrance.
pushed me against the wall, and I'm like, oh, I'm a fighter, let me go, like Anyway, that was thank God, and they told me after nobody got hurt, and everything was. You understand what happened? So they pushed because I tried to touch them, and then they pushed by and they
Yeah,
pushed.
standard replicant says he is less marketable now. In your opinion, is he less marketable now? No, not at all. There's some guys
Personal, and
that
I don't know.
market themselves so well
Nothing,
that
nothing to
even
get
with a
hurt, and I
loss,
cannot really
they
help
still
anyone, and I
are
cannot really
relevant. Conor
support
McGregor is one of them.
anyone,
I mean, look
but
at the way that he got beat up by Dustin Poirier. Next thing you know, the guy has the nerve to go in there and talk smack to Dustin Poirier and his wife and family, right? You know what I mean? And yet he's the one who lost. He's the one who's sitting there, with his leg busted up by Dustin Poirier and has the nerve to talk like that. I mean, think about it, right? Sean O'Malley's the same way. Remember when he lost to Cheeto? He's like, well, I don't know about you, but I'm undefeated.
everything
That
is
right
like I said,
that right there is what makes you marketable. Because even if you lose, and there's a lot of people out there that takes all types of losses in life, right? They can sort of relate to that. And I think that ultimately is what makes them marketable.
I'm just getting better, and I'm a fighter, and it's a sport, and everything happens. You can tell me about Sterling, a guy who has been a multiple bantamweight champions and still very humble. Sterling, one more time. Um, Tell me about the invisible work that Sterling does to help you to
Oh, they're
become
asking what
better
is the
champion.
invisible work that
So
Sterling does to help you behind the
I tell
scenes?
Sterling he's just humble and good teammate.
He
Always
says, he's a very
he was
humble and good
I
teammate.
think CFFC champion when I met him, and
I
I
think he was
was like
CFC
I
champion when I
was
meet
so
him.
quiet, and then he was always helping and sharing his knowledge to
Yeah, so
other
he was always helping and
fighters,
sharing
and
his knowledge towards him.
then he was willing to help us and recognize or sharing his knowledge, and he's good. He Aljo played a big influence in my career, like to look up to him, training with him, and just be his training partner. And
Yeah, so he's basically saying that he
yeah,
was,
I'm
a
just
good
getting better.
training partner for him, the in the long run. So,
Thank you, everyone.
all right, so
მადლობა ყველას. საქართველოს მიყვარხართ, მალე შევხვდებით.
all right, there's Marab saying
Bye.
something in Georgian. So,
დიდება გიგებს.
just right where I left off, I had
Thank
left
you.
off with the fight with Amush and no, no, no. We're at Osmont and Ribison. So Osmont, obviously a very short light heavyweight at 5'8", 205, but still was able to, knock him down and then get the submission on top of it. Joshua Van gets a third round knockout. I mean, throughout that whole entire fight was showing his striking prowess. Again, very good striking, right? This is a guy that developed his striking since 2017, right? We're talking about just 8 years ago. And now all of a sudden he's fighting in the pros with this short amount of time. Um, but still, there's a lot of things I would like to see him do. I'd like to see him implement more kicks. I'm talking about Joshua Van. I'd like to see him use more takedowns, get some submissions. And yeah, ultimately, that's what I would like to see out of him. So yeah, great win for Joshua Van. Now Kevin Holland and Vicente Luque. Now, look, Kevin Holland has a very unusual style, very unorthodox, right? The way that he comes at you, constantly talks smack. That's just what he does, right? That's just what he does in a nutshell. He is a talker. That's what they do. That's what talkers do. They try to get under your skin, and sometimes it works. You know what? Now, did this work in this particular case? You know what I think? I think that because he's trying to hide what he had done in Cameroon. I think okay, yeah, this video is out right now. I got my video that is out right now. Francis Ngannou returns to the UFC. You guys go check it out. Obviously talks about the return of Francis Ngannou in the UFC, but also talking about the whole entire card, which is what I'm talking about right now. So yeah, Vicente Luque gets submitted by Kevin Holland. Very unorthodox submission artist, right? Look, every time Kevin Holland wins, it ages the win of Kamzat even better because it shows you how good Kevin Holland is. It's just that when he takes on someone like Kamzat, well, it's a different story in a different case. But on any regard, Mario Batista gets a win over Patchy Mix. His volume and overall UFC level skills is ultimately what won him that fight. Right now, two big wins in his career: Jose Aldo and now Patchy Mix coming into the UFC after a 20-1 victor winning streak that he had. Right, he had 20 wins and one loss coming into the UFC. That's a very serious contender to come in there in the UFC with his status. And here's Mario Batista coming off of a win from Jose Aldo, and there it is, right? Mario Batista, maybe he goes in there and he can fight Sean O'Malley one of these days, right? That's a matchmaking that could be a possibility somewhere down the road. So Joe Pfeiffer beats Kelvin Gastelum. I mean, he wanted to finish him. He had a few opportunities to do so, but wasn't able to do it because he says that you know what, it's not always the mature thing to do to go after the finishes, but maybe some guys just have a hard chin, and there's a reason why barely anybody has ever really knocked out Kelvin Gastelum. Kayla Harrison showing different levels of Juliana Pena, took her down over and over again. That was all she wrote. Marab, the same thing. It was all she wrote. More on this particular subject. I got a video out on that right now. Go check out that video. It is out right now. I'm going to give you the audio version of this video right now, and then you can go see the video version of it, full video and audio, all in this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one, inshallah. Francis Ngannou is coming into the UFC, but is it because he's trying to hide what he had done in Cameroon? That could be. Or it could be that he has no one else to fight in the PFL. Let's be honest. None of the heavyweights, including the top two guys, which is John Jones and Aspinall, really have nobody to fight other than themselves. Now you throw Francis Ngannou into the mix, guess what you got? A much better heavyweight division than you had before. And guess what? Even if you were to throw John Jones versus John Jones versus Francis Ngannou, you have a champion versus champion situation. With Tom Aspinall, he's been the interim champion for a long time, and quite frankly, we want to know what he can do against the likes of John Jones, what he can do against the likes of Francis Ngannou. But we need to have Francis Ngannou in the mix in order to find that out. And right now, the only one we have in the mix is John Jones, and we don't even know if that's going to be a viable option, let alone the other in that particular division that might not be a viable option for one reason or another because maybe they're just not experienced, maybe they're not good enough, or maybe they're just not right up there. But either way, that's what you got going on. The possibility of Francis Ngannou coming back to the UFC, all in the name of heavyweight glory, because we need it. Heavyweights right now, look, it's not the best time to be a heavyweight in MMA. Okay, that's for multitudes of reasons. I could go into reasons and make a separate video on why the heavyweight division is lackluster right now. But I tell you what, you put Francis Ngannou in that mix, you're going to get a much different landscape, at least within the top three, maybe even top four. But let's be honest, the top four ends with zero guy. If you really think about it, he's the number four guy. He went to a decision with Francis. He got finished by John in an interim fight. He has yet to fight Tom Aspinall. That's still an interesting matchup, to say the least. But either way, Francis Ngannou coming back to the UFC, that's great news. Now, will it happen? We shall see. We don't know the extent of what he has going on with his contract in the PFL, and we don't know if he's going to follow through with that or just leave that out completely and come back to the UFC after the most nasty breakup that he's ever had with the UFC against anybody who has really had a breakup with the UFC, not since Randy Couture, not since Frank Shamrock. The list goes on of people that have had similar stories with Francis Ngannou. But either way, that's not the main topic at hand right here. Obviously, UFC 316 just passed, and Amanda Nunes could potentially now face Kayla Harrison. Now, Kayla Harrison did a great job against um, Pena. Took her down at will, and then eventually finished her off with a Kimura from side control. Showed that she was the best female fighter in the world right now. And Amanda Nunes, obviously a former training partner of hers. Reason why she left ATT in the first place is because she knew that eventually this fight was going to happen. So here it is. Now Amanda is coming out on retirement, taking on Kayla Harrison. Now on to the main event. Was anybody even surprised of what happened in the main event? My answer is no. There was no surprise there at all. I just knew Sean O'Malley wasn't going to do anything different, and Rob did exactly what Rob does: take you down and eventually submit you. And if he doesn't do that, he outgrinds you all throughout the fight. So what's next for him in the way that Amanda Nunes is next for Kayla Harrison? Well, that's Corey Sandhagen. Well, Corey Sandhagen got beat by Omar. But guess what? Omar got beat by Rob. So now he needs more competition. Very similar to the heavyweight division with what you got going on, right? The topsy-turvy matchups you got going on with the situations of who has fought, who hasn't fought, and who already fought who, and this and that. Now just trying to rearrange everybody in the top three, top four, same similar situation. But in any regard, that's who's next for Morale. Not really much there. They got to build a new contender from the bottom, all types of names that they can build up from the bottom. Obviously, there's well, let's just concentrate on the championship levels for now, right? You got Marab, you got Sean O'Malley somewhere in here, you got Sandhagen, you got Umar who can come back at any time, but he needs to do something different. Who knows? Maybe he can beat Marab in a rematch coming up, but Omar has to earn it. So that's what we got going on with the heavyweight division, the bantamweight division of both men and women's division, and then you got the rest of UFC 316. So what did we get? A little recap right here. Joe Pfeiffer gets a decision by Kelvin Gastelum. He could have finished him. He didn't. He rocked him a few times in the first round. All right, guys. So that is the end of my live stream right here. I want to thank everybody for joining me for the live stream and also for this live stream recapping the entire event and also more on this video. By the way, I just stopped this video. If you want to see this video in its entirety, it is available right here on my channel. Francis Ngannou returns to the UFC and UFC 316 full card recap. That is all going to be on the same video. 10 minutes of that video where I talk about Francis Ngannou returning and a full breakdown of the entire card in 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. Okay, so go check it out, like and subscribe. Thank you for everybody that's been tapped in to this channel and all my content, all my videos, and all my live stream. I will see you in the next one, inshallah.